Hey Vitika and Hyana. I'm recording this just to kick off, talk through the Project Quality Dash MVC, and probably Scott too, who's watching this. So I just want to walk through the epic, kind of kick off the problem, what we're looking to do over the course of this epic through a couple of milestones, and really what I'm targeting getting done as part of the design that Vitika is helping with, both doing the design and the solution validation. And I can definitely help run that as well. So we have just a couple of items in here. I expect that this is going to grow as we get into the technical bits, but what we're going to focus on today is really the UI components here. So our overall problem statement is, as an application dev director, I want to see simple to understand signals about a project, so I can understand how quality is trending over the last 30 days. There's a couple of loaded terms in there. Signals is one. We don't know exactly what those things are. Quality is one. That means different things to different people. So what we're going to do is really scope this down into data we already get. We know that we have test coverage. We already have a great presentation for that. So that's kind of our anchor on this, is that we're going to give them test coverage to start. The other thing that we can easily get is test execution stats, like what percentage of tests are passing, are being skipped, are failing as part of their default branch. So we're just dealing with the default branch here. We're just dealing with those 2 data points to start. And then the design can expand from there. This is really, we're going to really embrace that minimum viable change and embrace that we might throw this design away even after we build it and start with something else. So we want to go really, really simple here. We have a Project Quality Dash UI that'll happen actually in 14.3. If I refresh here, I laid out the milestones here. We have 3 of them. The first one, we're going to be designing and validating, doing the design, validating with the endpoints to get our current test coverage and latest test execution, the stats that I talked about. In milestone 2, Vitika, you and I will be doing so the solution validation, and the team will be implementing any additional data endpoints that we need, and then implementing the UI with those 2 data points. Really, it's going to be a pretty simple presentation, we think, to validate that we're going in the right direction. And I want to jump into, that's not it, that's the design issue for you. This is it. So this is the UI one. We have a proposal here, display the 2 metrics. This could grow later, but we're not focused on what it could be today. We really want to just focus in on those 2 that we know we can get at, because we don't want to build for things we're not going to build. So I did a really bad version of this down here, which Hyana gracefully did not laugh in my face about. But this is kind of what we're thinking. It's just a very simple tile view that shows here's your test coverage, and here's some sort of way to indicate the direction it's going. What we hear as we talk to these customers is they need a red light, green light kind of a situation. So they need to know green, great, I don't need to care about it today, or red, hey, I need someone to go look at this for me. And we want to give them that next click, and that might just be into the full report, and that will be fine. In the case of the test execution, we might even just link into the latest pipeline and link into the test report there, because we don't have a data view built for it. And that's okay. We can build this to learn and see how many people are clicking into that, and then what do we need to build on top of that. I show code quality violations here as well. This was an idea before we handed off that category. We may come back and build that so that we have that data. And then the SAS team, the static analysis team, can build out from there, or build something else and drop it in here, or take this out and put it back into the security, the vulnerability dashboard, maybe where it belongs or where people might be looking for it. So where people might be looking for it gets me to one of the first goals that I have as part of our design and our solution validation, really, is making sure we put this somewhere intuitive for our users. We know that they cannot find the group test coverage. They cannot find the project test coverage, either of those history graphs. They're buried in analytics repositories. 90% of users that I've interviewed and gone through the job to be done of go find historical test coverage, go into analytics CI/CD. So that might be a great place for us to put it, or we can test out with a whole new place to put that as well. And then I already touched on the second goal. We really want to give them data that's, I'm going to call it red light, green light. They know just by looking at it that it's either trending in the right direction or it's starting to trend in the wrong direction. And from there, we can build out in later iterations on, well, what's the actionable thing? Is it creating an issue or whatever? And we don't need to design for that today. We just want to design for this MVC. So the presentation here should be really simple. Other reports are going to have more details, and we can flesh those out at a later date as part of other design efforts. So really just want to get this, not this design cleaned up. This was just where my head was at that day, but something that's going to show those 2 data points, something that's easy to find and something that's directional for them. So I will set up some time with Vita to talk through this, ask any questions or answer any questions that you might have, so we can get this kicked off as we get closer to 14.1. And I'll share this video with everybody in Slack. Thanks.